Welcome to Legends and Leaders, where the biggest names and brightest minds in sports share their journeys on and off the field. Hosted by Leo Lewis, former wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings and founder of the Lewis Sports Foundation. This podcast dives into the stories behind the success, from elite athletes to influential figures across the sports world. Get ready for powerful conversations that inspire leadership and legacy. And now to our host, Leo Lewis.
All right. How's everybody? Good. My name's Leo Lewis, and this is Legends and Leaders. And I tell you what, we always have a good time with this audience because we fill them with drink and food. So they're happy to come here. My guest is a young man who's a son of St. Paul. He's had such a great career, a football standout. Actually, he was a standout in 3 sports at Cretin-Durham Hall, and had made his prominence at the University of Notre Dame, and lo and behold, was a standout #1 draft choice in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals. I want to introduce to you Michael Floyd.
Thank you for having me too.
Oh, no problem. Did you know that the first professional NFL team was the Cardinals for me too? You didn't know that, did you?
I did not know
that. Was before you were born, though. But that's also was when they were in St. Louis. The old St. Louis Cardinals, man. I'm a Missouri boy, so
okay.
The St. Louis Cardinals was a phenomenal team when I was growing up, and being at the University of Missouri as well. I always was thinking about, man, can I be a Cardinal, man? The nice helmet with the Cardinal head on there and stuff. So thanks, man. Welcome. I really appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
So what's going on, man? Tell me what's going on with you now. We could talk about your career, but I really appreciate it. You're one of those St. Paul athletes who came back and now is contributing to the community and living in the community. Knowing good and well you could be down in Florida or Arizona somewhere, especially this time of the year.
Yeah.
So tell me what you're doing right now.
So before I get into that, I met my wife in 2018.
Okay.
And then in 2020 I retired.
Okay.
And I still have my house in Arizona.
Okay.
It was kind of like a man cave. And
I bet.
When my wife came down there, she was like, "Nah, this isn't it."
Okay, so what was it about that man cave, man, that turned her off?
I just lived a different lifestyle.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, "I don't want to be a part of it." So
So you had to make a decision, man. That was a big decision.
Yeah. But I knew I had to do something different in my life for her to be able to want me.
Okay.
So I was like, let's get out of Arizona.
I love it.
Let's go back to Minnesota, where we're both from. And let's start a family.
Man, a woman will make you a smart man, won't she?
A
woman will make you a smart man. So given that, now that you've kind of, embedded yourself in the Twin Cities, a familiar place, certainly, what is it that you're doing now that makes you kind of get up in the morning?
So now I do real estate.
Okay.
I help people, buy and sell homes. But I actually, to have a niche, is I cold call.
Oh, okay.
So guys say, "Lewis, you had your home on the market and it didn't sell. I'm calling you to get an interview with you."
Okay.
And show you not what I do differently, but what I do a lot better. And I use my background in sports and through social media to actually get the job done.
Okay. And
how
does it work? Okay,
it works.
Good.
There's a difference between when you get on the phone, another cold caller and says, "Hey, I'm Michael Floyd. I work with Remax Results." But now I'm Michael Floyd with the Minnesota Vikings. How are you?
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hold on, what?"
So why are you trying to sell me a house?
This?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you already have that background.
Okay.
Of working hard, accountability, and you know that you're gonna get the job done. They know that too, being your background. So that really helps me in business.
Of course.
And then also, motivational speaking. That's exactly what I love to do it.
Yeah.
I think everyone has a story.
That's right.
And me giving back. That's one other way that I do is being able to put the experiences that I had in my life, and give it to the younger generation.
Yeah.
And hopefully that they learn, from my mistakes.
Of course.
And hopefully they don't go through that route themselves.
So I understand though, through this real estate environment, you're kind of reaching a little bit further and kind of owning some of your own real estate or becoming an entrepreneur. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so me and my friend Dalton Outlaw, I've been knowing him since I was about 10 years old, but he does Dalton development.
Okay.
He was a professional boxer. He had his own gym for 15 years, and he came to me and was like, "Hey, Mike, I have a great opportunity.
Okay.
How about we turn this keg and case off of West 7th into a health and wellness spot, but also a boxing gym, an event space."
Okay.
So we're supposed to close this month on the building.
Okay. Wow. Good job.
But just another way to make a difference.
Yeah.
I think St. Paul is a place where we need something like this. Somewhere where also kids, adults can come in and just be their self and let go of all the nonsense that's around the world today, and with work and stuff like that, and just come in and be around great people.
Well, I tell you what, it takes someone like you, someone who has made it this far in their life, who has just demonstrated that you had some ups and downs, but you've taken advantage of what was given to you. And pro sports really epitomizes that struggle. College sports epitomizes that struggle, because you played at the highest level, at the college level too. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about what it's like to be a Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Do you consider yourself an Irish?
No. But I love Notre Dame, and the reason why I chose it is just like the high school I went to, Crane-Durham Hall.
Oh yes.
It was small. It's only 8,000 students.
Correct.
At Notre Dame, and everyone there I know wants to be somebody and wants to be successful. And they always say, when you put yourself around them kind of people, you're most likely going to end up successful. And that's why I did, and I was one of the first one in my family to graduate from college.
Okay.
And I ended up being the 13th pick in the NFL draft after I graduated. Wow. So the celebration, getting drafted happened before graduating. So the excitement wasn't as much for graduating, but I was so grateful and just proud of myself. Of course. Being able to graduate from college, from one of the most prestigious colleges in the world.
No doubt. I think good job. And I think playing on the football field, I don't think people really understand how difficult that is. Many more student athletes do not make it to the next level. But you earned it. You got to catch the ball. We're both wide receivers. You got bigger hands than me, but you really earned it, man. I mean, spectacular plays that had to have come for you to be drafted in the first round. And I have to just say to the audience and everyone listening, you have to be so dedicated. You have to overcome injuries and some of the circumstances that happen during the game. Not everyone can be that successful over a long period of time, so I have to applaud you for that. So tell me how that Notre Dame education got to you, and what laid the framework and the background for you to go into real estate. What was it about real estate that you was really fond of?
I was playing pickup basketball here in Minnesota, 6 a.m. I'm still an early riser. That's just who I am. That's how I'm made. That's how I'm wired. There was a whole bunch of investors and realtors playing basketball, and they're like, Mike, man, you should get into real estate, man. You're personable. And I was just like, I don't really know, if I really want to work, because I always told myself to make enough money so then I can do whatever I want. But thinking, sitting down after I retired, sitting down for 3 years, I'm like, there's a lot more to me than football. So I got into real estate, and I wanted to get into something where I could help people. And that was just one of the jobs that I could get. And I enjoy it every single day. It's something that, fills my cup. For sure, that I'm able to put a smile on someone's face, get them a house that they always wanted, give them advice, right or wrong, but mostly right. And I tell them,
you've been around the block, man.
Been around the block.
That's right.
Been around the block, but main thing is just to help people and to guide them through one of most people, one of the biggest life decisions that they have is, getting a house.
That's right.
It's expensive.
Of course.
Nowadays, too.
Yeah. So where do you find yourself in terms of potential clients? I think you were you said you had cold calls as a strategy. You certainly have to look at the listings of the homes and how they might fit with people who can or cannot afford them. Is that is that something that you had to learn, or did you have to get you had to study for your license and everything? So tell me how that went. I mean, was that something that you were really motivated by, or just said, oh man, I got to get over this hurdle before I can do what I want to do?
It was just another hurdle.
Yeah.
Like you said, Leo, that I had to get through. I was never a good test taker.
Yeah.
I was never a good test taker, and coming from the NFL, and trying to learn something else, like I knew nothing about real estate.
Okay.
But I was determined to learn as much as I can. I have, the mindset that whatever I put my mind to, I can accomplish. So that's what I wanted to do. And, when it comes to getting advice, everyone who gets a house right now, they're like, I want the big $600,000 house. I'm approved for $650. I can do it. But I'm like, but does that work with your monthly payments?
Correct. Right.
Nowadays, do you want to spend $5,000 a month just on a mortgage? How about you get a house for half that, staying there for about 6 to 8 years, gain some equity in your house,
correct,
and then move on to that big house that you always wanted. Yeah. So that's the advice that I give. Yeah. And I do it every day, and I love it.
Good. And then you have to love what you do. It gets you up in the morning.
That is the number one thing, to love what you do. Love what you do.
Well, you know what? I've been watching you on social media, man. You come up with some really good inserts about certain, accommodations, real estate, and you put some really good flavor to it. What would be a good way for us to go and look at some of those comments that you make online?
You can go on, Facebook.
Okay.
Instagram. That's the two main social media networks that I do. But I talk about real estate there, but I talk about real life too. And a lot just about my life and my experiences of failure. Yeah. And not staying in that failure state and getting back up on your feet and moving. Yeah. Because everyone goes through adversity.
That's right.
Either you're going to sit there or you're going to make something about
it. That's right.
And,
stop pounding.
Stop pounding.
Yeah.
Stop pounding. I chose to get up on my feet and do something different and change my life around.
Well, let me go back to your football career, your NFL career, because it was so substantial for you. And then, you played with Larry Fitzgerald a couple years, Man, what a great combination, man. But tell me what it was like in Arizona. I love Arizona because I can play golf there in the winter, And, it's just a better place for me to play than Florida or Texas or something like that. But give us a sense of what it was like to play in the NFL for the Arizona Cardinals as one of their top draft choices, who a lot of expectations are placed on you. What can you come away with in terms of trying to get us to understand that?
So I got drafted to the Arizona Cardinals, and for Minnesota, there's not too many athletes in all sports from Minnesota.
Correct.
So I knew everybody since I was like 15, 16. Yeah. I used to go over to Joe Mara's house in high school to get massages from his masseuse.
Yeah.
So when I got drafted to Arizona, I lived with Larry for a good 90% of my rookie year.
Okay.
And I got to learn from one of the best.
Yeah.
He's not very a vocal guy, but he
Correct.
leads by example. And what he does on the field, you can only applaud him for all the stuff that he does. Yeah. And it was just like a dream come true. Getting drafted, to somewhere with no snow.
Okay, so you're telling me you said I got drafted by Arizona instead of Chicago,
Oh man. But I love it. I love all weather. Being from Minnesota, it doesn't faze me at all.
Eventually Arizona has to come and play Chicago in Windy Stadium. So it's so you really appreciated the camaraderie with Larry Fitzgerald Jr. And that's what it's really about, because when we leave the game, certainly, you pinpoint those relationships, not necessarily the time we scored the touchdown. I mean, we can remember that, everybody does, but I think I took away a lot of my experiences by the fact that there were some really good friends and friendships developed during those years. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I live up here. Fitz lives here half the year. He comes up here only when it's nice out in the summertime. But I'm going down to Arizona to speak at a high school next month. And I text him, hey, I'm coming down for 3 days. Yeah. You want to play some golf? And he just texted me and said, yes, I'll be around.
Can I go with you? But now, is this going to be during the summer, though?
This is May 3rd through the 5th.
Okay, so it's going to be 100 degrees. We know that. But 100 degrees isn't bad down there in Arizona. I have to tell you.
So when I was single, before I met my wife and I had kids, we would be done with spring ball about 12 o'clock.
Okay.
We would have 2 gallons of water. He would have his cart, I would have my cart, and we would play all day. Yeah. But we would have water. We wouldn't stop at all.
But you don't even sweat.
Don't even sweat.
I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing atmosphere and environment. Before we leave, man, I really appreciate you coming and talking with us on the podcast. This is my first year. I want to, certainly give you some accolades for, continuing to be in the community. I understand you created an organization and you are going to have a golf tournament. I think it's going to be your second year this year. Yeah, Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so my golf tournament is August 3rd. Okay. It's a Floyd Family Foundation. Okay. And it's basically, mentoring, developing, and just being there for kids. And the reason why I chose that foundation to be a part like that is because I was one of those kids that needed a hand. Yeah. I was one of those kids growing up that, someone helped me. Correct. And I think that's with everyone. No one does it themselves. No. There's always someone who lends a hand to you, helps you out. And for me, it was get a rise to school. When I didn't have money for lunch, coaches or teachers gave me money for lunch. So, just giving back is something that is a calling for me right now. Because I see a lot of kids like that just need a hand.
That's right.
Just need a hand, and I want to be there for them to do that.
Good. I really appreciate that because I think it's really important that individuals like you and myself, do things like that. I think the kids really appreciate it because they don't have those types of experiences growing up, just like we didn't. We didn't. My favorite baseball player was Lou Brock from the St. Louis Cardinals. Right. Could steal bases, was an infielder, can hit the single. Could be on base all the time, and stole a lot of bases, but I never got a chance to meet him, and despite the fact that you can go to these games and watch your favorite heroes, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to meet them personally, So it's important, I think, and we find it true. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you can change the attitude of some of these kids and say, hey, you got to work to get to what you need to get to and get what you want, you need to kind of do certain things. I think it's all the best. And more than likely, the whole family gets to benefit as well.
Definitely. Okay. Definitely. I heard a good quote today, though, Leo. It was like, if you want to be successful, nothing's free. Yeah. And nothing's given to you. If you want to be successful, you got to pay the price.
That's right.
And that's exactly what it is. Nothing's ever handed to you. It's always hard work that gets you through good times and bad times.
That's right.
And if you really want your dream to come true, you got to put the time in, and that's what you got to do to be successful.
Great advice. Michael Floyd, our guest.
This has been Legends and Leaders with Leo Lewis. Stay connected with the Lewis Sports Foundation to see how these stories are making an impact beyond sports. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep chasing greatness.